Quick, who actually said we're going to be talking to the founder of the Women in Cocoa Farm Cooperative, Mrs. Leticia Kowoa Yankey. You are welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Fine. I have so many questions to ask you, but the first question I really want to ask is how is a woman a cocoa farmer? Because this is usually male-dominated area, but a woman doing it, very inspiring.
Yes, I think there's a saying that what man can do, woman can do it better, and I believe I'm doing it the best way. Yeah, it's possible. When you come to Dunkwan often, we have over 800 women owning their own cocoa farm. So I'm one of them, and I'm a leader of women group, Cocoa Ma. We are into farming. We are doing the best practices in cocoa farming. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit to the earlier in your life. Did you always want to be a cocoa farmer?
Oh no.
What did you want to be when you were 10 years old? What were your dreams? What did you want to be?
Yes, I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
Yes, that was fine. Whenever my class one teacher asked me what to, I said I will be a teacher because I think that was the nearest mentorship. That was my teacher. I saw my teacher as everything. Yeah, but I became a cocoa farmer when I started working at Dunkwan on Ofin. Yeah, I was a director for national service and also a volunteer in HIV and AIDS. Yeah, whilst I was there, I saw that those days, that's 2003, when you test positive in HIV, they just leave you to go. So I started gathering the people living with HIV and started to giving them psychosocial counseling. Yeah, and I bumped into one of such a person living with HIV and AIDS. I psyched him, and it got to a stage of administering antiretroviral drugs to this man. We gave the drug to this man, and the man went into coma for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yes. Because of the drugs? Sometimes it happens like that. And the man initially got he broke the news to the family, and the family rejected him because he was living with HIV and AIDS. So he came back to me. I was a young girl then, yeah. I had given birth to only one daughter. He came back to me and said, you said I should tell my wife, but when I told my wife, she got upset. She has run away from me. So the man was with me. And then after the coma in 2 weeks, when he came back at the hospital, he told me that, Madam, thank you for what you've done for me, but I always want to see you. So for this, I would like you to be a farmer, enter into cocoa farming. I'll get you a land so that you farm. Serious? Yes, you farm. And then when you farm, I know you by all means go on transfer. When you have a cocoa farm, you know that you have a property here, so you always come back. I just laughed because I knew that it wasn't possible. I didn't have a plan of entering into farming. And when the man spent 3 days in my house before I took him back to his village, to his Ebusua Penny. And anytime he is coming for review, he will mention it. I want you to have a cocoa. So I started to look for a land, and then I got somebody who wanted to lead me to a man who has a land. So this man accompanied me, and we saw the landowner. In fact, I didn't have money. I didn't have money to purchase the land, but he told me that I should tell the man that I will buy the land on credit. And so the man agreed. He gave me, he gave me 2 years to pay for the land. Immediately I got the land. The man agreed. We started to clear the land, and with his help and his advice, within 6 months, I was harvesting tomatoes, garden eggs, cocoyam, and I had a lot of maize. Yes.
So wait, hold on. So the man who was living with HIV, What did he do as a profession?
He was a cocoa farmer in one of the
Yeah.
villages.
Okay.
Yes, he was
Okay.
a cocoa.
Okay.
So he
Wow.
helped you actually get into farming.
Yes, he helped me to get into.
So
it.
from your
Yeah,
initial
he sold the
beginnings
idea to
of
me.
the maize farm, tomatoes and all those things, what did you do after that?
Yes, he advised me that when I'm planting the cocoa, I should intercrop it with this food stuff.
Other
Yes,
things,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So you're doing commercial farming,
yes.
but you're also doing things to take care of
Yes,
yourself.
in fact, when I cleared the land, I
brilliant.
cleared the land in March, and then April I planted those things, and then June I planted the cocoa.
Okay.
Yes, he advised me to do the lining and again. So March, April, May I was harvesting tomatoes. Yes, and I was harvesting cocoyam leaf, kontomire.
Wow.
Yes, and that year I had a lot of money from harvesting of plantain, maize, and then cassava. Even people from Takoradi, market women from Takoradi were coming to my farm to buy the.
Wait, I know I'm confused. So, how big was your land?
Yes, I got 7 acres for myself. Yes, the land was 7 acres. That was all I could get at that particular area. Yes. So the first year, I cleared half of it.
And planted?
Yes, and planted. Wow. Yes.
So were you able to repay within those 2 years?
Yes, I was able to pay to test within that year, and then my husband paid the rest for me.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. From that time till now, let me ask first of all, when you were getting into farming, what did your husband think?
Yes, in fact, when I told him that I'm going to get into cocoa farming, yes, yes. I'm sure he will remember. He said, "You are not serious. You when you go on transfer, when will you come back? And my kids are not coming back to farm. Why?" He wasn't in agreement initially, but when he saw the cocoyam flourishing, that is where he also got interested. And I was also saying it all the time that this man is special, so I want to do the farming. I want to do this. Okay, if you want to do it, fine. So finally, he gave in, and he even paid the balance.
Pay the balance of
Yes,
the land.
yes.
It means he believed in what was
saw
happening.
something here.
Yeah, he saw the farm. He visited the farm once, and then he paid.
Wow, wow. So, let's talk about the beginnings of the cocoa farming itself. How long did it take for you to start to reap your first harvest?
Yes, I remember I got the right seed. Yes. A friend, she's now at a cocoa house, Margaret Frimpong, now Mrs. Ayakwa. She was working with a cocoa board, and so she got me cocoa pods from Fonso.
Okay.
And I did the nursery, yes. And when I planted it, I think within 1 year, I saw the cocoa flowering. Wow. Yes. And I got so much excited, and that motivated me. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is the very beginnings. Your cocoa is starting to flower and everything else. You get your harvest. How do you go from planting cocoa on a farm to having an actual business as a cocoa farmer?
Yeah. When I started the cocoa farming, I had no idea. So I was learning from the community.
Okay.
Yes. I will ask, what should I do next? Then they will tell me.
So are there a lot of cocoa farmers around there?
Yes, it's a cocoa community. My farm is in Esikuma. I started the farming at Esikuma. Denchira, Esikuma.
And were you the only woman there?
No, there were a lot of women. There were a lot of women there. And I was the greenhorn in the cocoa farming. But then I go to the women, and then I asked them, and including them, what do I do? So later I decided that I'll go to CHED office. That is, CHED is Cocoa Health and Extension Division. Yeah. So I went there. That time the head was Mr. Kofi. So I went to him and said, Mr. Kofi, I have a cocoa farm. You need to visit my farm. Then the man said, okay. But he wasn't getting time. And I was going there. Anytime I go, he said, come and visit my farm and advise me.
Yeah.
So one day, that was even after I planted the farm. Yeah. When I was planting it, I went to Cocoa Board for them to give me a technical man so that I can do the lining and pegging. Yeah, and they gave me two gentlemen, Mr. Asma and Mr. Opom. We went there and then they did the lining and pegging for me. After that,
so they were from where, the central region?
They were in Dunkonofen, extension officers from Dunkonofen. They assisted me to do the lining and pegging, and so after that, I was seeking advice from the outfits. Yeah, and anytime I go there, they were ready to support me with the technical advice. Yeah.
Well, at what point did you realize it was important for you to actually create the Women in Cocoa Cooperative?
Yes, in 2016. In fact, one day I came to Accra, and then I had a call. Anytime I go to my farm, I try to take pictures because I was excited when my cocoa started harvesting. The first harvest I had 100 pods from one tree. Yes, 100 pods from one tree. That was when the cocoa was 4 years old. I harvested 100 pods from one tree, and so the officer.
That's what cocoa was like.
Yes. Eventually, the officer visited my farm. And so, Mother, I didn't know you had such a beautiful farm. So one day I had come to Accra, then I had a call. Then the person asked me, is that Leticia? I said, yes. What shows that you're a cocoa farmer? Then I told the person, oh, you have to come to my farm.
Yeah.
Because if I tell you I'm a cocoa farmer, you may not believe it. So come to my farm. Then so, where are you? I said, I'm in Accra. So if you're in Accra, then come to Cocoa House. So that was Reverend Ahia Clote. So I went there and he said, oh, you are going to travel with a very good cocoa farmer. So we started. Then that was Friday. And he said he will visit my farm on Tuesday. So I quickly rushed back to Dunkwao. I stopped what I was come to do in Accra. I went back to Dunkwao. That time I had one Libra staying on the farm. So when I went on Monday, the district officer called me that I have visitors at Cocoa Guest House in Dunkwao. When I went there, I saw that the public affairs officer, that was Mr. Owusu, he was there with a team of media men. I said, oh, so these are the visitors I have. They said, yeah, they are going to my farm. So when we went to the farm, they told me to tell them what I do as a typical day, in my life. Normally, when I go there and they are weeding, I try to remove the chupons and give them instructions, remove them, this one, do that, do that. So we did that, and not knowing they were doing it for a documentary. So they invited me to go and mentor the youth in the Eastern region. And when I went to Cocoa House, I saw on their screen that, oh, whatever I did there, was there. I said, wow, so I'm doing something that need to be go public. So they took me to a World Cocoa Farm, is it International Cocoa and Coffee Organization. They took me to Punta Cana, that is Dominican Republic, to go and speak. It was a conference, cocoa conference, and then there I met women in cocoa and chocolate. Yes, they had international body there. They invited me there, and I told them, and they were inspiring each other. So they asked me that if I come to Ghana, I should also come and inspire the women there. But when I came and I started, in fact, I had a challenge, yes, from the Cocoa House. somebody told me that I'm not supposed to do that. I started going to the villages to tell them, to talk talk to them. Even that one, it was both men and women. But then I was stopped, so I stopped. Then within my corner, I was talking to the women in the communities. And 2016, I won the most enterprising female cocoa farmer regional level.
Okay.
I said, oh, so I'm doing something good. Then I need to extend this thing to the women because I learn it from them. And if they are not getting award, and maybe I have gone a further to extension office and I'm getting something extra, then I need to teach them. But then, because I was stopped, I was doing it quietly. Then came 2018. Then Cocoa Board came out that we should form cooperatives. Okay. Yes, okay. So this is a good chance for me. Then so they formed so many cooperatives. Then I said, no, I would like to mentor the women because I've seen that some of them have bigger farm than me, but I'm harvesting more cocoa than them. So what I'm doing, I have to teach them so that they can also enjoy. And then I said my cooperative should be only women and cocoa and a woman who is having her own cocoa. And I also saw that women there are doing very well when it comes to cocoa farming. But then they are farming it for the men. And they will weed, they may harvest, they dry. And when they send the cocoa to the purchasing clerk, is the men who takes the money. And when they take the money, they normally also neglect them. So I started educating them that you should get your own farm. And even if you have done the farm with your husband, let the man give you some so that a portion, this is yours. So some of them too, they were having the farm inherited from their parents and their uncles. And I started gathering them, giving them training, and then financial money, then a women empowerment program. That is how Kokoa came to be.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been a really great conversation. It's good for us to have you back and talk a little more about Kokoa. All right, so we've been speaking with Leticia Kowoa Yankey. She is the 2019 National Most Enterprising Female Cocoa Farmer National Award at that, and also the founder of Women in Cocoa Cooperative, Kokoa.